is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham. Breaking news.
There it is. There it goes. Some breaking news. I can't even wait to hit the buttons. I'm so pumped. So pumped right now. Let's go to the board. I'll do the breaking news thing again real quick here.
Into the Fanfare news feed.
All right. So, the breaking news. Some of you, most of you, all of you may have heard. But that's okay. I'm going to read it again. This is absolutely effing-tastic. President Trump gave us a glimpse of what was coming. At 4:02, he posted this. Congratulations, world. It's time for peace. He was obviously working on something. He wanted everybody to know it's time for peace. He followed that up. Well, I've been screaming so much this afternoon, my voice is gone. He followed that up with this one at 6:02, almost 2 hours exactly later. Actually, it was 2 hours later, wasn't it? Yeah. 2 hours exactly later. I wonder if that's some sort of correlative post. We'll have to check that with the 17th letter people. In any event, congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now. So that was midnight, basically. So at midnight, there will be a total ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Love that. When Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their progress final missions for 12 hours, excuse me, at which the point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war. It will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be now known as the 12-Day War. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the world. From Donald Trump, President of the United States of America. You know what I call that, don't you?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Now, the one thing we can't do, we can't, as MAGA, we cannot gloat. Let's not light cigars and gloat at this point. Those of us who were truly MAGA knew this was coming. This shouldn't be a surprise to you whatsoever. You knew that President Trump didn't want a forever war. You knew that President Trump believed in peace through strength. You've followed this man for quite some time, many of you for 10 years now. You know what he's all about. What is that? Oh yeah, the art of the deal. So this shouldn't be a surprise to you, so there's no reason for you to get out there and be a gloating, a-hole. No, I'm kidding. I am really kidding. Gloat, baby. Gloat. Let everybody know. Tell the ones who were naysayers, those certain people on X, those certain people on Facebook. Let them know, now you understand what we voted for? Now you understand why this guy won in a landslide? Some of you guys ruined your credibility. You completely blew it. You were testing to win, and you were wondering, how's this going to work out for me? How's my money going to be? If Trump does this and we get in World War III, where should I be? Let me make sure I say the right thing. Let me make sure I teeter the line. You've been exposed by yourself. Just think of that. There are people, small YouTubers, smaller podcasters, bigger YouTubers, bigger podcasters, people in the news, people you know, people who've made names for themselves over years, have now got to eat some serious crow. And I don't even know if they can eat the crow. I don't know how some of them are going to be able to withstand the barrage of we know about you now. Yeah, we can forgive them, never forget them. Watch out who you give your currency to. Your currency meaning your time. You can't get time back. You can always make money back. You can't get time back. You cannot get credibility back. You cannot get integrity back. These people blew their integrity because they didn't believe in this man. I don't think President Trump is a messiah. I don't believe he's the end all and be all. But I do know he's probably the best president in my lifetime. And I knew when I started this channel and I started following him and you guys started following me and we started watching the rallies, we were watching something very special. We were watching a man who truly meant, they're after me. After you. I'm just in the way. I remember that. I remember the man getting shot going, fight, fight, fight. I remember all that. And I'm thinking to myself, and people jumped ship on this guy? People really doubted what was happening? And I'm not stupid enough to think that the Iranians can be trusted. I'm not stupid enough at all. They are a crazy bunch, and who knows, they may start saber rattling once again. But the problem with it this time, number one, they're not getting pallets of billions of dollars. No, that ain't happening. Number two, they have no air superiority. They don't have any air influence. They don't even probably have an air force anymore. You know how vulnerable you are when you have no air force? So no, I don't doubt that these people can be trusted. I don't want to trust them. I just trust President Trump at this point that he's going to keep these people in line. It's going to keep them on a short leash. And if they need a little bit spanking some more, he'll probably give them some more of a spanking. Now, what does all of this mean moving forward? Well, there's this guy over in Ukraine who's got to be wondering, oh crap. Oh crap, I just saw what this guy would do. I just saw what America is capable of when they have a leader that allows them to be capable. You know, most of the stuff that you're seeing isn't new. We've had this armament. We've had all this weaponry and air superiority. We just weren't allowed to use it. We had spineless, ballless leaders. Completely spineless and ballless. And they didn't allow us to flex our muscle. It was like it was some sort of, I don't know, curse on us. Don't do that. Don't flex. No, flex. You know why you flex? Because people see you flexing and go, I better not mess with that guy. I better not mess with the United States of America. Because if I mess up, or if I FA, I'm gonna find out. Now, the world knows. Nobody wants to go to war with China, and China doesn't want to go to war with us. Russia don't want to go to war with us. So that's the peace through strength part. We had to do a little flexing. Look at the guns. And then the other flexing was, look at the blonde hair guy, because he gonna do it. Two things got flexed. It's one thing to be a big talker and not be able to back it up. President Trump talked it, and then he walked it, and everybody in the world saw it. So, if there were some crazy people around, they probably went, when's this guy out of office? What's he got, 2028? Maybe Kamala will come back, and then we can figure out what we're going to do. But the news didn't stop there. We're going to continue. Oh no, that was just winning number one. That was Red Auerbach right there just popping the champagne. There's more to tell you about. Lots more. This is so much fun. The winning is cascading. And if there was one thing I doubted, let me take a little bit of a mea culpa here. If there was one thing that I doubted, because I was like, what are you waiting for to pull the plug and go full Andrew Jackson? Why don't you just go ahead and do it? And somebody, along with President Trump, said back, just hold on. Let it run its course. Let these stupid judges, let it go up to the Supreme Court. We're not in a hurry. We got this. And everybody, including me, can you just do something? These judges are crazy. And one by one, the Supreme Court is saying, yeah, you can do it. So now they've completely screwed the pooch. Because as he's been winning real battles, he's also been winning court battles, which we'll get into in a little while. But it's really bad for the Democrats at this point because they can't win. They can't win. They have nothing. And now this guy is going to have so much currency, so much political currency, so much political capital. Don't stand in his way. Thomas Massey, don't stand in his way. Don't be that stupid guy. Don't do it. You'll find out, just like Iran found out, and you don't have nearly the power Iran has. They're trying everything they can do to put roadblocks in front of this man, and here we are 5 months in, and he's steamrolling them, one after the other. You're watching history being made. No president has, in my lifetime, or probably yours, has been able to achieve all of this with so much adversity. There's presidents who have done things, and they've had people behind them. They've built coalitions, and Congress has worked with them. This guy is fighting the media. This guy is fighting Democrats, and he's fighting some Republicans, and he's still moving forward. Can you imagine if he at least had all the support of the Republicans, what he would be doing right now? And so the idiots running around in the street, now you got something to cry for. I remember my mom and dad used to say something to me like that when I was spanked. Now I'm going to give you something to cry for. Now you got something to cry for. It's falling apart in front of their eyes and they can't take it. There's nothing they can do at this point to stop what is coming. No one can stop what is coming. I'm loving this. I hope you're loving it. We'll take some comments and we'll continue this in 90 seconds. Today's show is brought to you by Juvenon. Are you feeling tired, sluggish, or foggy? It could be poor blood flow. Blood Flow 7 by Juvenon is scientifically designed to support healthy circulation, so you'll feel energized, clear-headed, and vibrant again. It's packed with natural ingredients like nitrocyanine, I hope I said that correctly, S7, and trans resveratrol. Blood Flow 7 works by boosting nitric oxide levels, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels, helping your blood flow freely to every corner of your body. And that means more oxygen and nutrients to your brain, heart, muscles, and even those places that might need a little extra help as you age.
They call it a lifting. They also use another word, but I'm not going to use that word. You know what that is? The word, it starts with an E. You know what the word is? If I ever used it, I'd be run out of town by you people.
Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
Explanation was not they didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection.
With just one dose a day, you can reclaim your stamina, support heart health, and improve overall vitality, all without any caffeine or stimulants. Try Blood Flow 7 today and feel the difference where it matters most, inside your veins.
Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, thanks for coming.
Absolutely, thank you.
Just seconds ago, the President went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. Complete and total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and our expectation is that they're not going to try to rebuild that program. And I think that's what the president is really trying to figure out here, is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild. When I left the White House, I thought that we might be able to get it across the finish line before this broadcast, and it looks like the president has been able to do that. I mean, look, he's been working the phones constantly. Frankly, before the 12-day war started, but certainly over the past 12 days, the president's been extremely clear about America's national objective here. It is to create a world where Iran cannot build a nuclear weapon. We, of course, destroyed the nuclear program that they had, and the president told the entire team, we're going to work to make sure that they don't try to rebuild that nuclear capability in the future. And it's, look, this is a great thing. For Israel, think about this. They've accomplished an important military objective. They've helped us destroy the Iranian nuclear program. They've also destroyed...
I want to stop there for a second, because a lot of people who are, as we can say, anti-Israel have to understand the role that Israel played here. Israel took out basically did the dirty work. They went in, they took out all of the Air Force and everything else on the ground to make sure that our planes could fly unimpeded. By the time we launched the mission, we being President Trump launched that mission, there was nothing, they couldn't do anything. Number one, they couldn't see the stealth. And number two, there was nothing that they could do to fire shots. They were completely eviscerated on the ground. They were literally sitting ducks. And so the method and strategy that they use to effect this is incredible. Go in and basically do the snowplow, and then we'll come in and be able to drop whatever we want, however we want. And today's Monday at 6:02, he wrote that, and the bombs dropped Saturday, and we were out to dinner Saturday sometime about 9 o'clock. So you're talking basically less than 48 hours. They went, no more, no mas, we're done. Sorry, can't do anymore. And I don't think it's by accident, although JD kind of smiled and said, I thought we might get it done as I was coming over to film your show, but he knew damn well it was getting done. This was staged to be the announcement. No doubt that they knew, even the way he's smiling, he knew when he walked into the studio. He's like, yeah, we're gonna take care of things. We're gonna make it happen.
The conventional missile capability of Iran that threatened the country of Israel. For the Iranians, I think this is a new opportunity to actually pursue the path of peace. As I said yesterday, what the Iranians have showed through their support of terror networks, through their now failed effort to build a nuclear weapon, is that they're just not very good at war. And I think the president really hit the reset button and said, look, let's actually produce long-term peace for the region. That's always been his goal. I actually think when we look back, we will say the 12-day war was an important reset moment for the entire region.
Meanwhile, this won't be over until there are international inspectors on the ground, and the Iranians have announced we are permanently foregoing the enrichment of uranium products. That will be.
All right, so MSNBC, because they cannot possibly give President Trump any credit whatsoever, brings out this crypt keeper to say that nothing's really happening and it won't be over until the Iranians bring in the UN to come and inspect. Seriously, bro? Yeah, he's going to say something here in a second that you're going to realize, yeah, they took this guy out of mothballs simply to probably talk crap about Trump. Listen to the idiocy he says. Remember what has happened over the last 48 hours. And if you remember what has happened over the last 48 hours, you're going to hear somebody who they just basically paid and said, can you come on and just say something? Because we don't even know how to respond to this. Listen closely to what this guy says.
The only sign that's really at the end of it. They'll try and squeeze out of it in the coming weeks, days, months. They're very capable, clever people. They're brave people. They have a tremendous scientific bench.
What scientific bench? Israel bombed that scientific bench up to the heavens so they can get their 72 people, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. There is no bench. They're all dead. Did he not pay attention over the last 48 hours? Hey, here's this guy, here's this guy, here's these people, here's that. There's no scientists. They're gone. And I'm not even in the military, and I'm not open to briefs, but everybody was saying, and the news even compared their own network. Hey, they blew everybody up. Boom, 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 boom. The only person left was the Ayatollah as a whole, and they were worried about if he was going to get some. Of course he's going to surrender. About that bravery stuff you're talking about? Have you not seen what happened? Do you think brave people surrender? I don't know, but you don't have any scientists running around, all these smart people. They're dead.
Not going to give up this 30-year aim easily, but they got no options. I think President Trump's decisive action and that attack has just brought home to the IRGC, who I think are on their third general in command now. A bunch of those lieutenant colonels are saying, hey, this makes no sense. You old people in this theocratic dictatorship have led us down the wrong path too long. I think the regime change may come, but it's going to be from within Iran, not without.
Now, I will agree with him at that. I do not want to force a regime change. I don't think America should force a regime change, but as a part of this ceasefire and the eventual surrender, they're going to have to come in there and say, okay, not only can you not resume this stuff, but yeah, we'll help you rebuild, but you're going to have to go to real elections. At this point, Iran is going to have to negotiate something beyond a ceasefire. That's what people aren't considering. You can't just say, okay, you got us this time. We'll start rebuilding and we'll check you out in a while. No. That's not what the ceasefire is all about. The ceasefire is all about right now stopping the hostilities, making sure nobody dies, so that you can get to the table and talk about how it's going to be. Okay, what's it going to be? This ain't ever happening again. You cannot. Done. Stop. It's not even on the table. There's nothing to inspect because we're going to make sure we inspect it before we even go to the table. Count on it. They're already probably rooting around those holes in Iran to make sure they got it. Somebody from Israel or whatever, Mossad, they're in those holes. And they're looking to make sure it's all gone. Now when you come to the table, you are coming in complete supplication. Yes, what can we do to survive? Because you're not getting this stuff. So let's talk about things and what you're going to have to do to even be a sovereign country anymore. At this point right now, everybody has to understand the United States owns Iran. Don't want to say that out loud to some people. They will freak out. But right now, not Israel, Donald Trump owns Iran. Now, for them to be a sovereign country, they're going to have to satisfy him that this is how it's going to be moving forward. I don't want to mess with your sovereignty. If you guys want to be ruled by ayatollahs, and if you want your women to, to be submissive, if you want your women to have to wear burqas, let them have a say. We'll help you rebuild this country. We'll give you a nice palace somewhere. But you gotta do right thing here. You can't be throwing acid on women just because they don't want to wear the burqa. And as much as President Trump probably doesn't want to be involved in Pride Month, he's like an Ayatollah. You can't be tossing these fluffy guys off the top of buildings. You can't do this kind of stuff. It's 2025. You got to come into the new century here, bro. Those things, no more. No more tossing the fluffies off of buildings. No more putting acid in women's faces. None of that stuff. That is not how normal people act. You want to be normal? We'll show you how to get rich. You got all this oil that you can, still control, but you can't do the crazy stuff you've been doing. It's not going to work any longer. Which is going to be very hard for the Ayatollah and the hardliners to understand. You're looking at rubble. There could be much more rubble. Your way of life, it's done. No more goat, you know what. Well, actually, you can do the goats if you want. I don't care about that. Get sick, but I'm not chasing you around watching out for goats. But all that other stuff, all that saber rattling, all that threatening and doing stuff in the Strait of Hormuz, no, that's done. Forget about it. And to make sure it's done, we're going to have to, let Israel come in here and look around. And so we also intend on you talking to the idiots in Gaza and telling them it's done. Because the alternative is my friends who fly B-2s. See, at that point, we're helping you right now survive. What are you going to help us with? And I don't think people are taking that into account.
Yeah, and although it's complex, one of the lessons of the past several decades is that even overdue regime change by the populace is complicated if it's at the end of American military might. Syria poses a different example. Iran may yet, as you and the ambassador alluded to tonight in our breaking coverage. Thank you, General McCaffrey, as always.
Good to be with you, Aaron.
Absolutely appreciate it. As the General and I were just discussing, we are handling breaking news here, the rather sudden and dramatic announcement from President Trump that the United States has brokered a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, coming on the heels of Iran's relatively measured counterattack after the U.S. strike supporting Israel going into Iran and using those bunker busters on the nuclear targets. This is a big story. We'll stay on at this hour, so we'll keep an eye on whether there are further confirmations or developments on that.
I wanted to let you hear the rest of that because just look at his face. They are pained. The Democrats are like, oh no, oh no. They're more worried about Iran not being able to have nukes than they are about you having guns. Oh, guns, no. Iran nukes, yes, let them be happy. Look at the nuts in the street, all run around. Iran, Iran, Iran. We love Iran. Viva Iran. America. What? They're completely twisted. It looks like a morgue on TV right now. The more they talk about stuff, the more they get to... Why are you people this way? This should be a great day for America. We got into a conflict and nothing, as we know, nobody was hurt and not even any equipment was damaged. Could you ask for more? I don't think so. Let's take some comments here. I totally loves goats. Mean like Montana and sheep opposed Iran and goats. I don't know what you mean by that. All right, see, I wasn't going to mention any names. And I see some of you guys are already in here mentioning names and stuff. You mean like Candace and Tucker, too arrogant to apologize? If they only knew that by apologizing, folks would grant them grace if they adopted humility, they view apologizing as a sign of weakness. You know, I have never had anything negative to say about Tucker. I really liked Tucker. I just think people pick some really bad sides. Alex Jones, he said some bad stuff too. He's big enough that he could probably survive it. The other ones, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Where are we going with this? Mainstream media would rather see conflict than Trump winning. Yes, exactly. The indigenous Persian people do not want to be ruled by radical Islamist Arabs anymore. Haven't in a long time, but have been brutally repressed. You're absolutely right. Protesters are switching flags again. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's too funny. Oh boy. It's crazy. The ones that doubted, where did that go? The ones that doubted MAGA Mama, the ones that doubted President Trump make me sick. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I will never say somebody can't have an opinion. And that opinion could differ. But the thing that I didn't understand is how openly negative people got. I mean, just nasty. You could have said, listen, I don't agree we should be even involved with Israel. I don't even agree that we should be bombing Iran. I don't agree. But then start to come out and say, oh, it's going to be a war, forever war. He'll never get us out of that. I'm never voting for him again. Well, who are you going to vote for? I mean, once you declare the divorce, for the most part, it's going to be over. And so if you say I'm never voting for MAGA or Republican again, you made yourself look dumb. You going to go vote for those guys? You going to vote for Kamala? Hakeem Jeffries? What the hell are you saying? Oh, you're hoping that somebody like Thomas Massey or Rand Paul runs for president, because that'll really show the world. That'll really show the world if Thomas Curly Hair Massey or Rand, my neighbor beat my ass Paul, if those two guys run, that would put some, fear in people. Oh, man. That's too crazy. What a thing to wake up to. I bet the Dems are having Jack Daniels for breakfast. Probably will be too drunk to talk to the press all week. SV just got some breaking news. The U.S. State Department has issued a security alert for Syria, warning of ongoing terrorist threats. U.S. citizens are strongly advised to avoid all travel to the country. Not that I was booking a flight to Syria anytime soon. Wasn't exactly on my, to-do list to go head out to Syria. Wasn't going there. Let's see here. Rhinos aren't the answer to any problems. Nope, no freaking way. Those two need to be sent home. Yeah, Tucker. Oh, somebody said Tucker apologized. Good. But now, any of you guys who have been in any relationships of any length of time, you know, if you screw up and you got to talk to the wife and you go, I apologize, there's a second part to that. Now you got to fix it. You hurt me. You said some stuff that hurt me. I accept your apology. Now you got to fix it. Those of you who are in relationships, you know, it doesn't end when you go, I'm sorry. Okay, I hear you. Well, what's the next part? I won't do it again. Or I'm really going to work on something. Tucker, the rest of you, thanks for your apology. Yeah, stick it. What are you going to do different this time? What are you going to do to show President Trump? You don't got nothing to prove to us. Well, actually, you do. What are you guys going to show Trump, the administration, and the MAGA people how you're going to change moving forward? Because if you just go right back and do it again, you're lucky if people want to give you a second chance. Somebody goes, hey, I'll just stay single. You don't want to do that, bro. There's somebody out there for you, for sure. A wise man once said, if you're not ready to apologize even when you're right, you're not ready for marriage. I won't even go there. You guys know that. You guys know the invisible thing you did? What are you mad at? What'd you do? What'd I do? Oh, okay. Then you got to sit back and think for an hour. What the hell did I do? Oh, man. I don't even know what I said. Didn't really mean anything to me. That's what these people have got to do at this point. They've got to do some serious mea culpa. Yes, Kentucky has a big problem. Kentucky has a big problem. Oh, my God. McConnell, Rand Paul, Thomas Massey. My goodness. Let's see here. Tucker is transparent enough to admit his mistakes. Yes, he is. But now you got to work it back. You got to come back. You just can't stay out there and just say, all right, I'm done. I was wrong. No. Why were you wrong? Why did you doubt President Trump? I've seen you guys, you were pretty close. Why all of a sudden did you doubt him? That's what I want to hear from people. What was it that made you think that this was going to be a forever war if you know who the man is? Or do you hate Israel that much? At some point, people have to realize that's actually a thing. There are people who hate Israel so much, they don't even want to see us do anything with Israel. And one of those people you guys mentioned, the other day, put out a video that the Holocaust was fake. I was like, hey man, that's what you need to do to get clicks and views. You go ahead with that. The Holocaust is fake? That's where you went? You went from it's bad that the United States is helping Israel to the Holocaust was fake? You took that leap? I don't see there. I'll tell you, most shoes, that's never going to be a return flight there. I ain't never coming back. Nope, ain't going to happen. It's okay to have different positions. We grow that way. Yep. Yeah, I believe that. We should have different positions. We definitely grow that way. But you can't insult people and just think you're going to continue to grow. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. All right, so let me continue. I think this is now going to be big story number 2.
All right, welcome back. This just coming in here to CNN. The Supreme Court has weighed in on a significant part of the president's immigration and deportation policy. CNN's chief legal affairs correspondent Paula Reed joins us now with more. Paula, we understand this decision relates to the administration's attempts to deport people to countries other than the country that they are from. What are we learning?
That's exactly right, Casey. A significant win for the Trump administration. Here, the high court allowing them to resume deporting migrants to countries other than their homeland. And we're talking about some sort of turmoil-ridden countries like South Sudan, because a lower court judge had ruled that the
Let me stop there. All right, so you're a newcomer. And as a newcomer, you're thinking to yourself, hey, what's the worst can happen? They're going to send me to Mexico. Maybe Sakat. Now as a newcomer, what? You're going to send me to South Sudan? I don't even know what the hell South Sudan is. Oh, it's over there in Africa. Wait a second. You're going to ship me from the United States to some field in Africa? Y'all need to start packing. I mean, start packing now. If I was a newcomer and this just dropped, OMG. I am not going to be the one who's going to test this and say, well, maybe they'll send me to Mexico. Maybe they'll just give me a ride home. Maybe he might get pissed off and send me to Sakat. Or he might send me over to Lion Bait. Good luck. Get out. Get out now. Oh my God, I can't take it.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
I just picture right now that, there's a couple people probably sitting someplace in Los Angeles and going, wait a second, let me know how this is really going to work. Well, you could leave now, and it'd be like Monty Hall from Let's Make a Deal. Okay, so you take door number 1, we'll give you $1,000 and a free plane ticket, and you'll be back in beautiful Mexico. Okay. Door number 2, it's potluck. We don't really know where the hell we're sending you. What do you mean you don't know where? You could end up in Sakat. You could end up in Sudan. Door number 3, that one you just sit your butt in America and rot. Those are my only 3 choices right now. That's it. Which door do you want? I'll take the $1,000 in Mexico and a free plane ticket. Yo, you win. You don't got to get yanked out of your job. You don't have to be walking down the street someday and somebody put a hood over your head and toss you into a van. You don't have to, be in a restaurant working and see the guys come in the front. You think you're getting away out the back and there's somebody there. You don't have to be at a construction site 12 stories up and see down below that they're rounding people up and you're wondering, what am I going to do? This should now be an ad for the Trump administration. You should actually be telling people right now, you got a couple of choices, none of them good. Actually, $1,000 in a plane ticket might be good. Pick up your app, Jose Must Go, and when you pick up the app, put it in there. Yes, can I get an Uber to the airport? I'm ready right now. Don't delay. It's really that simple. And let her continue.
Homeland Security had to provide migrants written notice about where they were going and give them an opportunity to challenge that deportation on the ground that they could face torture or other adversity. Now, this lower court judge also said that deporting these individuals to third-party countries without due process unquestionably violated their constitutional protections. But now, while this litigation continues to play out, the Supreme Court allowing the administration to continue sending these migrants to third countries. And roughly 1 million people now are eligible to be deported to these.
1 million people. 1 million. I forgot about door number 4. Door number 4, you can become a conservationist, somewhat of an environmentalist if you want. You could be shipped down to Alligator Alcatraz with no guards. You can escape anytime you feeling up to it, Sparky. Go for a swim. Maybe never come back. Watch out for the mosquitoes. Oh, by the way, if you hear something under your bed, don't put your hand under it because it might be a big old python. Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. They just got the permission. Just in, Florida will now build an illegal alien detention center surrounded by alligators and pythons called Alligator Alcatraz. Construction has been approved and has begun. I'm pretty sure Alligator Alcatraz won't have any air conditioning. And the stuff that's around there, they're not guards that are going to try and wrestle with you. They're not guards that might, put a taser on you. This kind of taser you ain't coming back from. Chomp, chomp. Nobody knows what goes on out there. I've ridden on airboats and was afraid. I was like, oh my God, that alligator looking at me like it's not something you normally see in a zoo. He's looking back at you and go, come on, big boy, get in the water. If you haven't ever gone, I advise you, if you come to South Florida, take a day away from the beach and go on a boat ride, airboat ride through the Everglades. It's amazing. You're out in the middle of flipping nowhere. It's hot as all can be, but it's so interesting. You are going to see wildlife like you don't even think is in America. Alligators. Some crocodiles, pythons, wild boar, panthers. You don't need no guards. It's like, okay, somebody tried to escape. Oh man, we got to go find him with a doggy bag or something. So whatever's left over. Somebody will try. Somebody will say, I can make it. Where are you going to make it to? See, most people have never even seen the Everglades. Once you get there and you're like, there's no land anywhere. It's all marshy stuff, and you don't want to be walking around in that stuff if you don't know. There's things in there that will make sure you never come out. These people ain't ready for that. Matter of fact, some of them might say, you know what, give me Sudan. I can see the lion, I think. I can't see these things in the water. And they're fast, and it's I always like people like, oh, they don't like to eat people. You ain't been to the Everglades, or maybe down to the bayou. I bet you some people from Louisiana in here are like, oh yeah, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
Countries. And I think it's notable here, the court did not really give a lengthy explanation of their analysis, but there is a pretty fiery dissent from the liberal justices, written by Justice Sotomayor, who wrote, quote, rather than allowing our lower court colleagues to manage this high-stakes litigation with the care and attention it plainly requires, this court now intervenes to grant the government emergency relief from an order it has repeatedly defied. I cannot join so gross an abuse of the court's equitable discretion. She goes on to say that the court's decision to grant the government equitable relief is not the first time the court closes its eye to noncompliance, nor, she writes, I fear, will it be the last. So clearly, she is not happy.
I have one question. Why did you spend all that time reading a judgment, but you focused on the dissent? You're focused on Sotomayor and Ketanji Jackson and Kagan as if it mattered what they had to say. They're reading the dissent. Why are you reading the dissent? You're wasting your time. I have to tell you, you're wasting your time, because you know why?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Why are you telling me about the dissent? Why are you telling America about the losers? We don't care. He won fair and square, 6-3. Get out. Or don't. Maybe you get to meet some alligators anytime soon. It's pretty funny. Vivian says, hey, Bear, I've done the Everglades boat ride. It's amazing. You do see a lot of wildlife out there. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the flying ones. There's predator birds out there. Now, they probably don't land on humans, but if you get hurt and you like fall down, or you're half eaten, or you got bit and you're incapacitated, here come the big birds. And they can see for miles, and you don't want to be out there. You don't want to be out there. Alligator Alcatraz. CNN clouds. Yes. Why are you focusing on the losers? Losers. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We're Trump fans. You know, the last thing we care about is what Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson had to say. Because as far as we're concerned,
we're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
I had to show you guys this comment because yes, I lived in Louisiana, sat down South Louisiana. Gators, snakes, insects don't want to be out in the bayou without no knowledge. Nah. Without knowing your way around, you don't want to be poking around in there. All right, so that happened, and then after that happened, the DHS. Let me find this. DHS posted this. It's hilarious. This. Oh, you know that the left is just seething after reading something like this. A Supreme Court ruling is a victory for the safety and security of the American people. The Biden administration allowed millions of newcomers to flood our country, and now the Trump administration can exercise its undisputed authority to remove these criminal newcomers and clean up this national security nightmare. If these activist judges had their way, these newcomers who are so uniquely barbaric that their own countries won't take them back, including convicted unalivers and child bad people and drug traffickers, would walk free on American streets. DHS can now execute its lawful authority and remove them to a country anywhere in the world that will accept them. Fire up the planes. Fire up the deportation planes. OMG. Fire them up. Can you imagine Tom Homan right now? Somewhere Tom Homan tonight is probably pouring himself a nice big old glass of wine, got a big old stogie, and is like, y'all have no idea what's about to happen. None. And what's really funny about it is, you remember the previous ruling that he beat Gavin Newsom over the head with, is now they can just deploy the National Guard if that becomes problematic. I don't even need to ask now. Go round these people up. There is so much winning happening so fast, the Democrats cannot react. Understand that. Remember, because they're happening so fast, now you can just get them out. And if they complain, you can put the National Guard or the Marines into the city. They can't say anything about it. All of this is happening imminently. They've got the full gamut. It's not just one thing. They have it all. The Democrats can't even fight this back. There's nothing they can do. This must be terrifying to Democrats. This ruling here that we just saw, 6-3, you can send them wherever somebody else is willing to take them. That's it. Game, set, match. And there's nothing to appeal it to. There's nothing you can do. You can't have some district court judge say, don't listen to the Supreme Court. You're done. See, Democrats right now are sitting down to dinner someplace, and they're stunned. And they're looking at each other and go, what's our way out here? You don't have one. This dude just negotiated a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. On the same day, a couple hours earlier, he just got a ruling that says he can send the newcomers anywhere he wants in the world. And last week, he got a ruling that says if you FA, he can call in the National Guard and the Marines. What's your move at this point? Seriously, if you're in one of these Democrat strongholds, and have you seen the videos I've been putting up on X, because I can't put them here, and you don't want none of this to go on, it must stop. It must stop right away. We must do something. What are you going to do? What's on the table? There's nothing for these people to react to. I got a couple of things I want to show you in regards to what we've been talking about. Charlie Kirk says, it's okay to say you were wrong. However, it's not okay to act like you knew this was coming while you were attacking President Trump day after day. Be honest. And people see it. Everyone who turned on Trump should be blacklisted and never be allowed to return. Damn straight. I hope these people can at least say it was a good move by Trump. Otherwise, we're going to know you're being paid. It's out there. You're being exposed, or you have been exposed. And what are you going to do? How are you going to react? I love what Monica Page says here. This is fantastic. What are we waiting for? Nobel Peace Prize. Just mail it. Let's just have the ceremony at this point. No need to vote. Just say, yep, he's got it. Give us some more winning. Just announce it that he gets the Nobel Peace Prize. She's so right. She's so right. All right, so let's continue. This one came out a little while ago while we were talking, because there was some waffling that people were saying Iran is not really going to do it. It's a bluff. Well, now the Iranian officials have confirmed Iran agreed to the ceasefire proposed by President Trump per Reuters. It is now official. No waffling, no going back. It is what it is. So, now at this point, this is where we are. This is what it's all about. It is June 23rd. President Trump got sworn into office on January 21st. We are exactly just over a day or so after 5 months, and all this has happened. What's the encore? It just keeps going. Stock market blew up. Oil prices lowered. Gold up. Everything is happening. Everything is coming up roses at this point. What are these people? I don't understand what kind of options they have. And I'm trying to be objective. It's like, what could they possibly do at this point? Other than unrest. But then again, if they go unrest and he brings in the National Guard. What's your move on this chessboard? You're a Democrat. What's the move? The only move I could foresee is somehow getting enough rhinos on board to, make sure that the big, beautiful bill doesn't get approved. So, muck up the waters that way. But other than that, they've got no play. There's no move on this chessboard. Nothing. What are you going to do? You're going to cry for 2 more years? What are you going to run on? Tears? That's your platform as a Democrat right now? We're in a position, a very good position, to stomp this party out. And it needs to be stomped out. It needs to go away. It's crazy. Oh yeah, New Yorkers tomorrow. That's going to be a good indication to see what's going on. If New York... I got to find that. Wait a minute. I got to tell you. Well, in case you guys don't know, New York is now... No, never mind. Let me save that because I do have it at the end. We'll come back and talk about this guy. All right? Interesting post here I saw I want to bring to you. And this is very interesting. I'm starting to think that Ayatollah Khamenei is either dead or there has been some kind of coup within the Iranian armed forces, because that is the only way these statements being made by Trump fans and other officials within the last hour make any sense. Did they take him out? Who's going to be negotiating the ceasefire? Is he done? I haven't seen that yet, but what if he is done? If the Ayatollah is no longer here, what's going to happen? What will that mean? That could be... Looks like Israel's not waiting until 12 o'clock. We still got stuff to do. The Israeli Air Force is continuing to carry out strikes across Tehran and western Iran. Oh my goodness. They're going to pound him until time is up. And there's nothing that Iran can do. Oh, remember the guy on MSNBC going, they've got scientists. Well, they just wasted another one. Another nuclear scientist from Iran was reportedly eliminated tonight by a precision strike from the Israeli Air Force. Oh, maybe they heard at MSNBC. Oh, you think they got more? Oh, let's go get them too now. Let's take them all out. I know I played it a couple times, but I can't help it.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
All right, somebody says that President Trump was actually sworn in on Monday, January 20th. So we're just over 5 months right now. As to the Ayatollah, I cannot believe the court said to relieve Mr. Garcia. Yeah, that's another thing. But it's a misleading thing that you heard. I doubt he sees the light of day. There's so many charges against him. They said, okay, let him go on these charges, but they're not going to this guy's not getting out. He's not getting out. New Yorkers are going to mess up. All right, we'll talk about that in a sentence. All right, so let me continue here before we do the Rumble jump over. Let's finish a couple other things.
View this decision. Donald Trump's Mideast envoy, Steve Witkoff, has remained in contact with Iranians since those U.S. weekend strikes. What does that tell you about this moment in this conflict?
I think it really speaks to the fact that both Tehran, but also the Trump administration and the president himself are looking for off-ramps. And the fact that there are channels open, direct or indirect lines over multiple parties, from the Omanis to the Qataris to the Turks. There are many countries trying to find ways to bridge the divide. That's very important. What's really urgently needed is an opportunity for the Iranian foreign minister and Steve Witkoff to speak, perhaps without so much pomp and circumstance, but privately, discreetly, to take the temperature down and to find ways of de-escalation. There is a moment right now where the Iranians have clearly signaled they're looking to de-escalate. President Trump appears to look like he's willing to climb down after having struck Iran in an unprecedented way. So it's about giving space for that de-escalation to happen. And then, of course, building out what the diplomatic discussions will be and what both sides can agree upon at the negotiating table.
Now, listening to that from CNN, for the most part, she was pretty good in putting out the lay of the land right there. They're going to have to come in and appease President Trump. Some people, even in the crazy media, are starting to realize maybe we need to move to this way. Maybe we need to move to the right, because this guy is basically going to be running things. Why would you continue to be a left-leaning, screaming network at this point? You got RFK Jr. trying to take away your revenue by taking away advertising. President Trump is pounding your adversaries. You look kind of stupid. Let's see what Anderson has to say here.
The White House and what are you hearing?
Yeah, Anderson, I mean, when I just caught up with some White House officials, and one of them was telling me that essentially they had been expecting this. They knew that Iran was going to retaliate. One of them actually argued that they had a similar response, the Iranians, after the killing of Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani back in 2020. They say what they've seen so far from these initial assessments, it looks like a similar type of retaliation. And essentially they argued as well that their initial assessments, again, we know that the president is currently in the West Wing meeting with his national security team, but their initial assessments is that these missiles did not hit their intended targets, kind of echoing now what we have heard from the Qataris. And one thing I want to make clear as well, and this came up again in my conversations after we've seen this response from the Iranians, is that the president has made clear to his team here at the White House that he does not want further U.S. military action in the region as of this point. Of course, this could all be changing now as we're seeing this response, this retaliation from the Iranians. But prior to this attack, his posture was that he does not want to have more U.S. intervention in the Middle East. Again, we'll see if that changes now that we've seen this. But they argued that depending on how this goes and seeing as of now that they do not believe that the Iranian missiles had hit their targets, they believe he may maintain that posture. I will say, though, they of course said that the president is reserving the right to escalate U.S. military involvement if necessary, but that's his current posture at the moment, Anderson.
See, I included that merely for the fact of showing you that something's going on with the media. I mean, it's early, We'll check out what they do. But to me, it's kind of interesting how now, what are they going to report on? What exactly can they even discuss negatively about President Trump? This has been such a monumental day. I mean, just an immense day. He gets the ceasefire. He gets the Supreme Court. Those things are so huge, even the media at this point must be demoralized. How do you regroup? What do you start covering? What do you start saying? And of course, you got Scott Jennings on CNN to make sure they know they've been spanked.
Act effectively sets back the program and doesn't lead to wider escalation. The president seems to have accomplished all the objectives that he set out to achieve.
Of course. I told you yesterday I didn't think we were at war and that this represented a de-escalation of the situation. And that's exactly where we are with this flaccid Iranian response. In the words of the great boxer Roberto Duran, no mas, no mas. That's what Iran is saying after Israel has degraded their military capabilities and the president of the United States has taken away their ability to make nuclear weapons. This is capitulation, in my opinion, from Iran today. And it is a complete and total vindication of the Trump strategy, which was to let Israel beat these guys to a pulp. We show up and take away their nukes. Yes, let's have a deal now. I think it'd be great to have a deal with Iran about right now. This is not an escalation. This is a de-escalation.
Well, Trump promised escalation.
This is not
Trump promised
First
escalation.
ever
Iranian
bunker busting bombs is not an escalation.
Because, well, she said President Trump promised us peace. I ask you, can we have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon?
Well, we have.
No, and that's just it. And now, again, they try this. If you saw the top, this was yesterday. So they showed the flashback of this woman complaining and everything. And now they got nothing to say. I'm on right now. I can't see what's happening on these liberal networks, but I don't know how you can downplay this. Other than like with the MSNBC guy, oh, well, wait and see what happens. Okay, well, that's all you got? Let's just wait and see what happens? It's not monumental. It's not historic. It's up there with the Abraham Accord. This ceasefire and getting Iran to come to the table with Israel, with a loathed enemy, and realize, yes, yes, you kicked our butts. Yes, what would you like us to do? Please stop bombing us. I don't know how you could characterize this. They'll try, but you end up looking stupid. The only thing people may say, and I'm talking about people on X, is we didn't go far enough. We should have finished them off. But they're not thinking, because maybe we have indeed finished them off. Until the Ayatollah raises his head, let's assume he's either been vacated or he's gone. Gone as, like, bye-bye. Meeting his 72 friends. Maybe he'll come out tonight and say something. We have to verify it's not a recorded message. Somebody's going to have to verify this guy's still around. If he's not, maybe that's why the Shah has been being so vocal. He's making speeches all over the place. We'll see what's going to happen.
A deal, and
you're litigating the past.
I'm not litigating the past.
Can we have peace if they have a nuclear weapon?
We had a deal. He's trying to get back into that deal, and he withdrew from that.
They were violating
and not only that, now he's trying to have another deal.
Bribery and appeasement does not work with terrorism.
Let me hold on.
You know, it's funny how people in various situations will try to call you out. SV just texted me and said, somebody said, when are you apologizing to Pam, Dan, and Cash when you said you were done with them if nothing came out of the Comey Shell issue? We'll be waiting. Has something come out of the Comey Shell issue? I don't know what you're waiting for. As of today, Pam Bondi had a great performance in front of the hearing for the budget, and Cash and Dan still haven't done anything that we know of. What I've said and what I will continue to say is, no, today they haven't done anything. I know of Pam Bondi because of what her work was here in South Florida, actually the entire state of Florida. But what they may be working on is something I talked about earlier that you may have missed. Earlier, I spoke about the fact that prior to this bombing on Friday, President Trump said something that a lot of people seem to have omitted, have ignored. And if she's working on that, then all bets are off. People better check their sphincter. Okay, so if you don't remember what was said on Friday, let me just, so you don't have to go all the way back and look at this afternoon's video. But on Friday, prior to Saturday's bombing, President Trump said, I think we need a special prosecutor. We need a special prosecutor to examine and investigate what happened in 2020. Maybe that's what they're working on. But as of right now, I don't have a crystal ball, neither do you. Nothing has happened. We have the Supreme Court hearing. She didn't argue that. So I'm not sure what some people are saying. Let's see, down here, OSINT defender says it is now 3:30 a.m. in Israel, with Iranian officials reportedly telling France 24 hours earlier that if Israeli strikes continue after 3:30 Tel Aviv time, Iran would consider the ceasefire as voided. All right, well, we shall see what's going on over there. We'll know pretty quick. All right, so I want you guys to get ready. And let me put this up. This is going to be the link to Rumble tonight. We'll finish the show over there. Join the Rumble after party at that URL, and I will see you over there once we do the jump. Lori Amstead, I wonder about that evil guy too. Akamanajad, evil man, but God is watching. Let's see here. Lori, Cynthia says she's laughing like crazy. I have no doubt the Democrats would love to help Iran. I'm sure. No Russia nor China said they will not help. In fact, China said, which may have been a very big contributor. China said, if you mess with the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to have a problem with our oil. So they didn't want that happening either. SV says apparently attacks are still happening in Iran, and a top official has been unalived. Yeah, that's what I just showed you guys a second ago. Maybe that's why they said about midnight or whatever. Not really sure. 6 hours. Dems are only for themselves. They hate the country. Yes, we will be talking about New York City very, very soon. What else we got here? This is from verbal reports and papers. I can't confirm legitimacy. With all the fake news we get back home, we just take it and make it our own view. Yes, all right, so Israel supposedly had an additional 6 hours. Let's look at that so everybody understands what exactly Nancy is referring to, because that's very important. Let's look at what President Trump wrote so we understand what the timing of all this was. The timing of this was, this dropped at, wrong window, hold on, so you guys can see it all. That would be number 47. Okay. This is what President Trump, I was going down here so you can see it, 6:02 p.m. 6:02 p.m. our time, Eastern. And he says here, as we start talking about times, where are the times here? Okay, here are the times. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in about 6 hours from now. All right, stop there. In 6 hours, meaning midnight our time. Because he wrote this at 6 o'clock, so midnight our time. We are 4 hours before, 3.5 hours before midnight our time. When Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions, and then for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended, officially Iran will start their ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire. So there's some staggering numbers here. It's not everybody at the same time. I don't know how they came to that. But you got this much time to finish up, and you got this much time to finish up, and then the ceasefire is upon the 24th hour. All right, so I'm not sure what people are saying about Iran is pissed off, because it doesn't appear until the 24th hour that we have an official end to the 12-day war. There it is, right there. Upon the 24th hour. So probably since he wrote this at 6 o'clock, by 6 o'clock tomorrow night is when this stuff will all end. It has not ended yet. There's ongoing missions. I'm not sure why they're like just keep punching, but they're gonna keep punching. It's based upon you read that. Not really sure what that actually means. Let's see here. Bondi was why did Israel attack Iran? They had their hands full with Gaza. Perhaps they did it to support the crown prince and set up for USA attack. Maybe we'll find out. This is so interesting, and yes, it is definitely for history. What do we got here? We got any more? FAFO. Oh, wait a minute. Where is that? FAOFO. Yeah. Who wants seconds? Oh, that's so funny. All right. So, sleeper cells are a real threat, but the FBI might use them as an excuse to expand mass surveillance. Could be. There's a lot, and Trump needs to go on Mount Rushmore. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. All right, so before we jump over, I've got to read Super Chats if there's anything in here. Hold on. Let me go ahead and pull this up and make sure if there's any Super Chats in here. Hold on one second. I'm configuring. Talk amongst yourselves. See how things are going. Talk about the kids, wives, everything. All right, let's go here. Alligator Alcatraz. You guys seem to like that. Alligator Alcatraz. Somebody ain't kidding around with that. That is crazy. All right, let's read these off. Larry, 1754, Trump has to be given the Nobel Peace Prize. I completely agree. Larry, I ordered Juvenile and will let you know the results. In God we trust. Need much prayers in the hospital waiting for, oh my. Woke up Saturday and was paralyzed from the waist down. Oh my. Pray for you. Pray for you for sure. By the way, speaking of prayer, I think it's next Monday morning is the first revised prayer. We're going to have prayer breakfasts, basically. We're going to do it in the morning instead of the evening. And then we will definitely keep you in our prayers. And your surgery is when? Maybe tomorrow. Good luck. May God be with you. Stream Weaver, how about a ceasefire against me on Rumble? Entire family loves your show, and we all are in agreement, so not sure the issue. We took a stand, no YouTube. I don't know, maybe SV can see what, give him your, right now, if you're still on YouTube, give him your, what do you call it, your handle, and maybe he can look up what exactly is the issue. Mr. Mike, the Lion of Judah, cleared the ground for Bald Eagle to come in and drop the finishing touch. Well played, Trump. It absolutely drives me nuts that some don't stand behind the best president of our lifetime. Absolutely. Mr. Mike, thank you. Deport the newcomers to the Everglades. Oh, that's going to be... I bet you won't see Congress people rushing down to the alligator Alcatraz. They won't be coming down here. Jerry King, are they going to put live video feed around alligator Alcatraz? It would be fun to watch. That should definitely go up. Melvin Blodgett, alligator Alcatraz will need to be built to keep creatures out while the other creatures inside now are the prey. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that smells like man meat. Smells like man meat up in there. Like, can we get in? And you've seen some of the videos where the alligators down here will climb fences. I wouldn't want to work in the mess hall, that's for sure. even if it's raised off the ground. Oh my gosh. Stephen Rhodes, System of a Down, BYOB, Heavy Metal Lift, what's up? John Owens, this will be a great 4th of July. Iran may join us. And it's really going to be interesting whether or not the idiots out there decide they really want to go through their 4th of July protest. Because that could be absolutely insane as well. All right, so we're getting ready to jump over to Rumble. Those of you guys who did Super Chats, thank you very, very much. Let's do this thing that we do at the night show. I'm looking for my button here. And, I'm going to do this.